Hello there friends, CSGO Live here. In today's video, official reshuffles in Falcons. All G2 secrets has been leaked, and the results of major regional qualifiers with a lot of drama, and other exciting news from the world of CS2. So without further ado, let's get straight to it. Let's kick off today's video with the topic everyone's been talking about. The rumors, the leaks, and now the official roster changes. We've all been waiting for it. It's confirmed. M0NESY has joined Falcons, and Dexter left the team just one day after their big tournament win. But I guess that's sports. So first of all, M0NESY shared a lot about the move in a recent interview. He revealed that he had several offers from other top-tier teams, but Falcons were the only one he truly believed in. He said he was pretty confident he could win trophies there, especially playing alongside Nico. He also talked about Nico's impact in another way. After Nico left G2, the team's mentality took a big hit. Even M0NESY admitted he started getting tilted at his teammates, which according to him had never happened before. In the same interview with James Banks, M0NESY also mentioned he has been keeping an eye on Kioske, especially praising his movement, which he says many pros would love to have. And now that both Nico and M0NESY have spoken highly of the young talent, the Falcons' management will definitely be paying close attention and a lot of money. After all, when your two biggest stars vouch for someone, you better listen. Since we're already talking about roster changes in Falcons, we've gotta touch on what's happening over at G2. Once again, the rumors were true. Hades has officially joined them on loan, at least for now. With two Polish players and a Polish coach, you could say that the Samurais are slowly turning into a Polish squad. And according to one Romanian streamer called Jaxi, that might not be the end of it. I don't know guys, if he could be trusted, he's not like Nell or something, but there's no fire without smoke, or how did they say it? Well, you get it. So this Jaxi guy also stated that G2 wants to pick up Jacob from Apogee. Again, it's really hard to say how legit that info is, but well, I guess that works. And also the clip was later deleted from the stream. I just wanted to say that Apogee were pretty cool at Bucharest, so maybe, but well, not that legit again. And yeah, G2's future with their new offer is hard to predict. But, well guys, one thing's for sure, they're no longer looking like title favorites. And I'm not like talking about the major, I mean at any tournament. At this point, it's fair to say that they've dropped into the mid-tier pack. Drop your thoughts about the reshuffles in the comments below. Roster changes are also on the horizon for Eternal Fire. The org's CEO recently announced that their new lineup will be revealed in May. Yeah guys, surprisingly Eternal Fire as an organization is not dead. And well, there are no solid leaks about who will be joining the team, but if Eternal Fire sticks with their old Turkish identity, it's worth remembering their academy roster, which already gained some attention in the past, mostly because some of its players were later banned for cheating, but well, nevertheless. And yeah guys, if you want to stay on top of everything happening in the world of CS2, make sure to follow us on Twitter. Wait, there's a giveaway there now together with Aurora and their new lineup. You can win a Bowie Knife Lore, M0NESY Chantico's Fire, and a Glock Bullet Queen, just by following us and Aurora liking the giveaway and tagging a friend. It's pretty simple. The link will be in the description. There's still time, but please hurry up. And good luck. And now my friends, if you're standing, just sit, because another big name is eyeing to come back to CS. It's M0NESY. Their CEO recently confirmed interest in picking up a CS2 roster, and yes, this is serious. So it all started when he managed to buy back the M0NESY brand, and since then they've slowly been re-entering the esports scene, launching rosters in games like Valorant and even Marvel Rivals. What's gonna be their future CS2 squad? Well, no names yet, but there's one thing we do know. Unlike Eternal Fire, M0NESY isn't aiming for a single international lineup, like North American or some sort, I don't know, which makes the guessing a bit easier. The last time Envy competed in Pro CS was back in 2021, and the lineup included Michu, Calyx, Thomas, Nifty, and Legia. Now it looks like the gang in blue is getting ready to make some noise again. And speaking of roster opportunities, Envy might just have a shot at building a legit squad with top-tier free agents. For example, one huge name just hit the market: Perfecto. One of the best anchors in the game and in the world has officially left Cloud9's bench. He's finally free to join a new team. Whether he jumps straight back into Tier 1 lineup or helps build something from scratch, we don't know, but one thing's for sure, he's motivated and ready to grind his way back to the top. It's basically a quote. Keep an eye on this one, because Perfecto's comeback could shake up the scene. I really believe in him. Now, my friends, let's discuss some serious business, because while some orgs are thriving, getting back to the scene, others are clearly going through it. For G2, the problems are coming from the top. G2's former head coach M0NESY recently broke his silence and just dropped a lot of bombs, exposing what really went down inside the team. To sum it up simply and shortly, G2's star lineup with JKS and HooXi was basically dismantled by poor management decisions. Here's how it all unfolded. It's basically what M0NESY says. In the beginning, the team had two voices, Nico and HooXi, but HooXi was hesitant to speak up first. It was basically his debut on Tier 1 international roster, and the difference in mentality made things rough. After their major failure, things got worse. The roster built to win fell short, players were tilted basically, and some were getting tempting offers from other orgs. Behind the scenes, chaos took over. Management didn't know what to do, top players were ready to leave, and suggestions for replacements were either ignored or rejected. Then the first Nico to Falcons rumor dropped. That shook the team emotionally, and from that moment on, G2 began to slowly fall apart. M0NESY also explained why he himself left. It was the good old burnout, because without an analyst he had to do two jobs at once, and eventually it became too much. Also, M0NESY believes bringing back Nexa was a mistake. He said they could have signed Shush, Nerds or Crimbo, and that the decision to pick Nexa came from management, not the players, which was another huge misstep. And what about HooXi? Well, it turns out his departure wasn't about Nico wanting to IGL and become the captain. In fact, Nico only helped with CT setups, and not a lot of it. He wasn't trying to lead. HooXi basically left because of a breakdown in communication with the new coach Taz, who didn't click with him. Also, management didn't respect HooXi, and community pressure over his aim forced him to grind DMs constantly instead of working on tactics. And the whole irony of the situation happened at IEM Dallas, which HooXi missed. According to M0NESY, their success at IEM Dallas was solely built on HooXi, because he did all the analysis, all the tactics, all the preparations and everything. And in the end, he even didn't go there, and I remind you that Stu2k was standing in, which honestly, for me personally, sounds crazy as hell. In the end, M0NESY offered his own ideas on how G2 could bounce back. First, replace Taz with Ash from Gamer Legion, which sounds super logical, because it's Ash, and he's cool. And also to pick up a few young talents from there and start building again, almost from scratch. But also there's one thing M0NESY is certain about. Simple will never play for G2 because his personality would just destroy the team from the inside, not united. Which sounds harsh, but realistic. Kinda. The community had mixed reactions. Some agreed with M0NESY, others pushed back. For example, M0NESY jumped into the stream chat right away and asked M0NESY to stop leaking internal info. Meanwhile, Kassad argued that M0NESY should have stayed in G2, saying Melps is better than Tassus, Heavy God is stronger than Magisk, and Nico, won't stay at the top forever, saying that it's not worth it. My friends, what do you think? Was M0NESY right to air it all out, or should some things have stayed behind closed doors? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because the situation is crazy and we need to discuss it. Whew, the drama is over, so I guess we should move on to other news before G2 react to this. Let's talk about Passion UA a little bit, because their owners had an interview, shedding light on the situation, on the current roadmap, and recent roster moves. First, what happened at the major. I remind you that Passion UA made it through and got their stickers, but then they crashed out. Nevertheless, Alexander Zinchenko, who is the owner of the club and also a player for Arsenal, a football team, said that they had made a budget for 2 years with that major, which I guess is a lot. And right after the major, it turns out that Fnatic had their eyes on both Fear and Jambo, and, well, they ended up signing them. Interestingly, as it turned out, Falcons were also in the race for Jambo, and Fashion UA initially wanted to transfer him there, obviously because they would have more money. Nevertheless, they quit. Then the negotiations with Fnatic dragged on for quite a while, to the point where Alexander Zinchenko had to jump on Quals right after the matches. He even got into a bit of a spat with Fnatic after partially revealing Jambo's transfer fee, not something the British orc appreciated. To replace the departed players, Passion UA brought in Waro2k and DamQ, two solid pickups. But DamQ alone cost them nearly a quarter of the org's annual budget, so count that money that I told you before, well, you get it. You get some, you lose some, I guess. As for their recent coaching situation, I remind you that Misha Kane left and TC was signed instead. Passion UA just thought that TC was good enough because he helped Complexity climb to the tier 1.5 level, while with Kane, some internal issues happened of some sort and all that. Also, language barrier wasn't an issue. Everyone speaks English and TC is already learning Ukrainian, so he's even expected to give interviews in the language soon. So it's alright. With the new roster in place, Passion UA's main goal is to break into the top 20 rankings over the next 3 majors, which is a solid and, well, calm and comfortable plan. Something some orgs really lack. And now, my friends, let's discuss the results of the major regional qualifiers, because they have finally ended. And now we know all the teams that will attend the Austin Major, which will happen in Texas, USA. Let's break it all down. Perhaps, first of all, the results of the European qualifiers. We shall start with the teams that were the first to drop out. It was obviously Team 500, and basically everyone knew they would drop out. After all, a team is constantly accused of fixing matches and cheating. They're not gonna be at the major, right? People just laughed at their tries. The second team to drop out in the first stage were Parivision, together with Jame, who managed to lose to Heroic, Astralis, and Bait. Also, my guys, surprisingly, I mean super surprisingly and unexpectedly, among the teams that will miss the major is Gamer Legion. Yeah, right, the same Gamer Legion that was shining in Bucharest. Something just went wrong and they lost to M0NESY and Fnatic, right before Fnatic themselves dropped out the same way. So yeah, it was kinda unexpected again. And also Beg and Saw dropped out as well. But speaking of huge W's, OG, who last attended a major almost 750 days ago, made it with a score of 3-0. Can you believe it? Crazy news for all OG fans. Alongside them with a 3-0 score is Heroic, where we should note Tanir, who became the first player from Belarus to attend the major ever, like in the 14 years of majors in CS. A huge historical achievement. Heroic, together with Tanir, in a dramatic battle, won against M0NESY in their last decisive game. I remind you that M0NESY is also a Belarusian organization with a Belarusian player in it. So yeah, it was crazy. And the most interesting thing here is that M0NESY qualified for the major the next day. And it will be a major debut for their whole roster. Congrats, guys. Well done. BB Team and M0NESY Sport also made it through for the first time. It's interesting that the Swedish team has 4 former Ninjas in Pyjamas or young Ninjas players, which is crazy, guys. I mean, Ninjas in Pyjamas curse is real, and Sweden is basically represented by M0NESY Sport, which is cool. I respect that. Well done. And of course, the match for the last European slot. It was supposed to be a real thriller and cinema. And we got it. Bait took the first map without any trouble. On the second, Astralis answered. So it was all up to the decider on Ancient. It was back and forth. And of course, we've got 12-12 in the most intense match possible. In OTs, Bait take the lead. But Stavn responds with an ace. Oh, it was too late. An incredible moment. Then it was really close. And watch what happened next.
Not for the second. They were all bunched up there in a temple. Now Alex holds the center of the bomb site. Mate's back. Here's him coming. Headshot getting the first man. This will be a magical 1v3 clutch. He's got it down to one man. Stare! Oh, he loses it!
Wow. Oh my god. Unbelievable storyline as Bait stay alive after being 0-2 down to clutch the qualifiers. What a story. Congratulations, guys. Also, I wanna separately mention Device, who really wanted to make it to the major because he dropped crazy 36 frags on the last map. But Cadian and Stavn, well, okay guys. I guess we're in for reshuffles in Astralis. In other regions, things were quite predictable. FlyQuest made it through Oceania and Lin Vision won the Chinese qualifiers. In North America, Complexity and Wildcard were victorious, and the latter doing it without Stewie 2K. Also, Wildcard will have a rather interesting situation since Susp and Adam B are siblings, basically twins, so it will be interesting to watch their match. The Asian qualifiers were won by Chengiz Warriors, who will also go to the major for the first time. And Imperial won the South American qualifiers, who seem to live from major to major, because between that, nothing happens for Imperial. And also, since there were 2 slots, Fluxo made it as well. Once again, congratulations to all the teams. Now, my guys, let's just hope all together that none of the players will have any visa issues. Anyways, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget about the giveaway in the description, don't forget to follow the channel, hit the like button and drop by in the comments below. I'm not saying goodbye for a long time, my friends. See you soon.